Everybody turn your volume up.
I'm Alex Lyon, and I'm here to provide communication tips to help you increase your impact. And
Before we even get to this shit, pull out a notepad and a pen and take notes.
The first is called an easy question. Essentially, this is just a direct question.
Easy question,
a question
yeah.
that you can answer with a yes or a no or a quick fill in the blank, like a one-word answer or a short phrase. And that's the way you want to start conversations. Jerry Seinfeld, for example, the stand-up comic. I love stand-up comedy. I use Jerry Seinfeld examples a lot, but he says that he used to have a lot of difficulty at social situations like parties.
This one is the easy question, so everybody should get this one down. Everybody. We should have no mistakes with this one. All right?
Until he realized,
We're too grown not to understand this one. Easy
I'm
question.
just going to ask a question that I know that there's a one-word answer to, a number. So he asks people things like this. How many years have you lived in New York City? How many kids do you have? And then it's very easy for the other person to start the ball rolling with giving those short little answers. And then you can follow up with an open-ended question, and that's the second type of question. Once you have a little bit of content to work with, ask a follow-up. So let's say they say something about living in New York City for 7 years. You might ask another closed question like, oh, where did you live before that? Michigan. And then you open up the conversation with...
So if y'all notice, he said easy question and open-ended follow-up. Like an open-ended question means you don't know what Fresh is about to say, you know. But if you do a closed-ended question where you already know the damn answer, it's not a conversation. You know, it's not a conversation. Why would you ask Fresh something you already know? We need open-ended questions. That's what makes a human conversation. You know? Did everybody write this down? This one is very important. Open-ended follow-up. Write this down. I'm dead serious about these notepads. Yeah. Fresh's dream, it's not time for the questions yet. We're doing homework right now. All right?
With a what or a how. What brought you from Michigan to New York? That's an open-ended question, a what question or a how question. And that usually requires a lot more detail. It's going to get them talking and opening up. And that's when you really see the conversation get dynamic and have that good back and forth, detailed, rich.
You hear the dynamic, rich part. You go back and forward. How can we go back and forward if you ask the same question somebody else already asked? You know? You just heard Fresh reply to that question. Why you ask it again? There's no more dynamic going back and forth because it's the same thing being said. You know? You've been there the whole life. You asking the same thing you just heard Fresh answer. You better be taking down notes. You better be taking down notes.
Nature.
Yeah.
So easy question, and then a follow-up or probing question that's open, starts with a how or a what. Some people say you can also start with a why, the word why. I have found, however, in my experience,
I've never heard nobody ask a why. I'm always hearing a how. Or how. Yeah, I'm always hearing how. Never heard a why. Never. It's always how or what. Usually how. How are you, Fresh? Or shit. Somebody just asked that same question 5 seconds ago, and Fresh just answered it. You was here when I just answered it. I mean, a why. Make the questions more diverse, you know?
Experience that the question that starts with why sometimes can make the other person feel a little defensive, like they've got to justify their explanations, and so I personally avoid it. I was talking to a friend of mine just a couple of days ago, and he said that he was at work and his coworker who was showing him around was asking him a lot of good questions, and he was answering those questions. And then he noticed all of a sudden the conversation just died. And he reflected on it. He said, oh, I know why it died. I wasn't asking him any questions. And so the next time he went to work, he asked the other fella a couple of questions, and then they started that good back and forth. So you start with those easy questions and follow up with an open-ended question, and you're almost guaranteed to get a nice conversation going. Now, conversations are one way that we can connect with people. It's one of the main ways we connect with people in social situations and professional situations. It can establish you as a good communicator, and that's what this channel is all about. Communication Coach is helping you increase your personal repertoire of communication skills so that you can lead the teams and the organizations that you're part of with higher levels of excellence. So if you're interested in ongoing content like this, then please click the subscribe button and start watching. I also want to invite you to comment below if you have other ways that you get the conversational ball rolling. I would love to hear your techniques, and you can share them with other.
I don't think nobody should be commenting on his video on your conversation techniques, but I do think you should go follow.